Hey, welcome to Super Social Club. I'm Jeremy. Today, I'm at Rob's place. We are doing the Talisker rundown. We got the 8, the 10, the 18, and the 25. We're going to nose them, taste them, give them a mark, let you know what we think. And we got a little giveaway to give away after this video as well.
So we're starting over here with the Talisker 8-year-old, 59.4%. This one was released in 2018. It is a limited release, not many bottles produced. Rumor has it that they may be producing this every year because of the success of this bottle, but that's not for sure until the next batch drops. So.
Right. Yeah, so cast strength on this one. Right away on the nose, I'm picking up this like awesome kind of like cherry kind of note. I mean, there's lots of depth and complexity and like boldness on this nose.
Yeah.
Lots of peat.
It's beautiful sweetness on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting that beautiful milk chocolate note. A beautiful brininess,
Yeah.
like a salted chocolate, which is weird because you don't really get chocolate notes from just ex-bourbon cask.
It is weird to get that in this, but I mean maybe like that deep char is bringing that out, and then like that salty brininess that like that Talisker, you kind of get it in other Talisker, but this one is just it's cranked up. You get a big arrival on the palate. Again, that saltiness, that brininess, the smoke. Those cherry notes, all very well integrated into this, and then it hits you. It hits you like strong. It's a freaking belter for sure.
Absolutely, a beautiful like muddy peat to it. When you first taste it, that kind of dissipates, and then you get this, like Jeremy was describing, fruity cherry type note. It's sugary, it's salty. And it's got this wicked intensity.
Yeah, it is very intense. If you are a peat head, you will love this whiskey. I mean, it's in that category of that like Lagavulin 8-year-old, you know, the Ardbeg 10-year-old, those type of whiskeys.
I've done a head-to-head one night with the Lagavulin 12-year-old, and it competes. Like they can go toe-to-toe. I mean, this is 4 years younger, but...
And this almost reminds me more of like an Islay peated Scotch versus what you're used to with the rest of the range, which you can definitely tell it like this is not, you know, Islay style.
Absolutely.
It's peated, but it's not that Islay style. But this one is more in line with that Islay style.
Yeah, that muddy, dank type peat note.
Right. Yeah, that brininess that you get with that, like it's almost, I don't know if you'd say there's like a medicinal note in here, but it's maybe more approaching that medicinal than versus the rest of the range for sure. Yeah, great finish on this one.
Really, really nice.
You get a little bit of vegetal notes on it. I mean, it's great. It's a really good whiskey. Lots of complexity. Big, bold flavors. I love it. All right, we'll move on to the Talisker 10-year-old. This one's balled at 45.8% ABV. Really good like introduction to peated whiskey, in my opinion. I did this one for my top 5 Scotches for beginners. I think it's a great way to get your palate kind of like introduced to peat, because it's not that huge peat bomb that you're going to get with a Talisker, with an Ardbeg, a Lagavulin, or the Freud. More mild on peat. It's a nice fruit notes on this one as well.
Yeah, definitely a beautiful introduction to peat, because if you're new to peat, you're not going to want to start with this 8-year-old. You're going to definitely want to go towards the 10-year-old.
Lighter, more inviting on the nose.
The smoke is there, even like especially on the palate. I find on the finish, you're getting a ton of smoke. Not a ton, but like a nice char note. Mm-hmm. And as you were describing earlier, it's a different kind of peat than you get from the 8-year-old.
Yeah. Great whiskey. This is one where you can just kind of pour it into a tumbler, sit back, relax, enjoy it. Complexity, not as much complexity, obviously, as this, but overall nice rounded notes on it. It's a really good whiskey.
Moving on to the 18-year-old, again 45.8% ABV. Talisker tends to use that ABV for all of their expressions, including a lot of their no age statement whiskeys as well.
Yeah, a lot of them all coming in 45.8. Even the Game of Thrones one, 45.8. All of these three, 45.8. So on this one, I'm getting more of like a luxury kind of style to this. This is like very well rounded. Everything that you get on the nose here is Very kind of like balanced, very in his place. Nice spiciness to this one too.
This one's different than the rest because I get a beautiful fruity note to it. Something I'm not used to with the 10, the 8, or the 25 for that matter.
Yeah, the fruit notes on here, you get that like, almost kind of like a melon. You get like a little bit of lemon, and then the finish, you get a little bit of spice kick. It's all very well rounded. Really, really nice whiskey.
There's a beautiful cantaloupe, like you said, melon.
Yeah.
Cantaloupe type note. It's like a ripe cantaloupe. It's mid palate. It's on the finish. Just beautiful, and it's sweet. Yeah, for me, this is the money spot. I love 18-year-old whiskey.
Great finish on this one. You get all that spiciness. You get the salt. You get the fruit. You get the smoke. Definitely less smoke on this. I think going down the line, we're almost like heaviest to least. I think we'd agree.
Absolutely.
The older you get, the less peat influence you're getting. But just enough to make it just kind of perfectly balanced, in my opinion, for this one. All right, last but not least, we're going to do the Talisker 25-year-old. Again, this one's bottled at 45.8% ABV. On the nose, this one, again, even more refined and like more balanced and more rounded, I think.
Honestly, I started doing these kind of videos because I didn't realize how important they were to compare them side by side, and you really get to appreciate the older whiskeys when you have its younger siblings beside it.
Yeah. So on this one, I'm getting some of that cherry note. I'm getting like some like old kind of like leather. You get that like almost like antique store kind of smell where like it's just like aged wood and like, you know, like old books, and
It's like a nice dark chocolate note to this.
that dark chocolate. And you'll pick that up on the palate too. You get like that cherry chocolate, almost like a liqueur kind of note to this one. The salt level, you still pick up a little bit, but it's gone down. The peat, I don't get any on the nose. I only really get it on the finish. I only really pick up the peat on the finish on this one. But again, like that, this is really, really nice.
You get to see what age has done to this whiskey.
Yeah.
It's kind of like evolved into this smooth, well-rounded, but also elegant whiskey.
It's interesting just seeing like the levels and the steps that it goes through in the age. It's really fascinating and really, really good. All right, so score-wise for me, I reviewed these three on my channel, and you can check out those videos if you want. I'm going to score all of this as of right now, tasting it right this second. This is the first time I've tasted the 8-year-old, so it's going to be a brand new mark for me. I'm going to score this 90 out of 100. I think the complexity, the boldness, the peat, all that stuff I really, really like. So this is a really high mark for me. I love this whiskey. The 10-year-old, I originally scored this in 88, I think, on my channel. I think I'm just going to dip that down a mark to 87. Just comparing it to these ones, it's a really nice entry-level whiskey, but I don't think it's going to get that 88 mark anymore. It's going to go down to 87. The 18-year-old, I scored this an 88.5 originally. I'm going to stick with that score. I think 88.5, great score for this whiskey. Really, really good. And the 20-year-old, I originally scored this 89. I'm going to bump that to a 90. I just think now, going down the line, you just can appreciate this one for this age and like the characteristics that it has and the complexity and that finish. That cherry chocolate note on that one is just really, really good. Like that note alone is worth the 90 out of 100 for me. I mean, great, great whiskey. Value-wise for me on these, we paid 140 Canadian dollars for this. We saw it for around 105, but we ended up paying 140 for this one. This was a 1 liter bottle. I paid 70 US. I think we pay $100 Canadian for the regular size bottle here. I know you can find it cheaper in the States. And the 18, we got a great deal on this one. 115 US for the 18-year-old. I've seen it for way higher than that.
Yeah.
And the 25-year-old, I paid 168 British pounds at auction for this. That isn't a crazy, crazy price. 400 Canadian dollars at the LCBO, which isn't bad considering the global average for this one. I've seen this for at least 100 US dollars in a store. So value-wise, I think this one I'm going to say the price is justified. 140 Canadian is definitely worth an 8-year-old cask strength without a doubt. This one I think I bumped up the value of my original. I'm going to keep the value the same. I think that is a justified price for this. This one is going to get an extra mark for value, 115 US, great deal for that. And this one, I'm going to bump it up a value again because that for 168 British pounds, absolutely amazing price.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you go on these UK auctions and not too many people are bidding on this, right? Like a lot of auction guys, they're looking for those rare ones. You know, they've had Talisker 25. They aren't bidding on this, so you can really kind of swoop in and find something like this for a good price.
Yeah, the availability is there, so it's not going to be a huge auction type bottle.
Right. All right, so there are the scores. Like I said, we're going to give away some samples of this. We're going to give away a sample of the 8 and the sample of the 18 to 2 different people. So you'll each get 1 ounce of the 8, 1 ounce of the 18. All you need to do, leave a comment on this video, go to Rob's, leave a comment on his video. The 2 comments together give you 1 entry into the draw. We'll randomly pick a winner. And let me know what you think in the comments. Just let us know what your favorite Talisker is. Have you tried the new 8-year-old? What do you think of it? Is the 10 one of those go-to whiskeys that kind of maybe you started out drinking like I did and kind of just like got myself into peat? 18, 25, let me know what you think. The non-age statement stuff, the 57 North, the Storm, what are your thoughts on those ones? Just let us know in the comments. What do you think about Talisker in general? We'll pick some winners. You'll get some samples. And yeah, thanks always for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Have a good one. Cheers.